Hello, everybody. How are you all doing on this fabulous Friday, July 20th, 2018? Oh my gosh, we're in third quarter. As Eric Thomas says, third quarter living, baby. Welcome to Tea Talk with La Luz Speaks. Do you have your tea? Hmm. All right, all right, all right. When I say that, I think about my daughter when she used to record her little videos imitating Eric Thomas. All right, all right, all right. So today we have Tea Talk with Lalu Speaks, myself, and we are going to talk about self love and why it's so important for you. Now, this is a topic that I didn't understand or even know about when I was growing up. I didn't understand about why it's so important to love yourself. It wasn't something that I thought about. I thought I loved myself. But as I got older and I started recognizing that my behaviors, the thoughts, the words that I was telling myself about myself did not match up with someone who loves themselves. So when you come in, please tell me where you are located. I would love you to also um, say hi. I'm going to check here. I know it was sent out. Notification was sent out. So, my friends, thank you so much for joining me tonight. So, I hope you all can hear me. Right. Let me check out this. Yeah. All right. All right. So, my friends, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out to either join me live or taking the time to watch the recording. I am thrilled to help women in this season in my life to get through the things that I have overcome. So, in 2009, for those of you who know and those of you who do not know, I was diagnosed with stage 3 cervical cancer. And it literally changed my life. I have not been the same ever since. I am a new woman, new creature, been transformed, been renewed. And with that experience, and this year makes 9 years that I've been cancer free. With that experience of going through chemotherapy, going through radiation, and seeing how, and thinking about my life in a totally new light, it's really made me want to not only change who I am and change my life, but also to be that support, to be there for other women. So that's what I do. I help women and other cancer survivors by shedding the light, la luz, shedding the light on how they can tell their own stories, how they have a story to tell, you have a story to tell, and you might not know how. And so that's what I do. I help you share your story. I help you discover your purpose. You say, you know what? I know I'm living for a reason. I'm not sure why, but guess what? We can sit down and talk about it, and I guarantee you will discover your purpose. I will help you share your stories and take action throughout so you can have that accountability that you need while you walk in your divine destiny. That is why I am here. I know what my purpose is. I know what I was destined to do and to become. And that is to be there for my crown divas, my sisters. Yes, we wear that crown from the kingdom, an almighty crown, because we were destined for greatness. We were destined to achieve and to create many amazing things. So I conduct workshops. For those of you who've been to my workshops, give me a little whoop whoop. Um, we have, I have done workshops at retreats. Hey, sis, there's my sister. Hey, D, how you doing, girlfriend? Thanks for joining me today. So, I am, you know, I'm just excited when I get together with my cancer survivors or even other women, and I help them through the art of journaling. So I do journaling workshops, and I use the creative arts, art, music, dance, drama. Um, I use the various forms of the creative arts as a form of therapy to help us get through, to cope. Because when I do those things, it relaxes me. It helps me to just chill, you know. I'm gonna take a sip on that. You have your TD? Today I made some tea from home. I guess you can say homemade tea. It's ginger and honey tea. It's something that I needed. Um, I needed some ginger in my life. It is good for the tummy. And I have not been doing my best physically, but I'm good. I'm here. I'm excited to um, speak over myself. I'm excited for tomorrow, for right now, for the future, because there are so many possibilities. And I love, what'd you say? You drinking water? Okay, that works. Hey, we will have our tea talk with your water and my homemade ginger tea. Let's toast to that. So, why is it important that we have self love? Why is it important that we even think about loving ourselves? We spend so much time as women helping everybody else, helping our mama, daddy, sister, brother, aunts, uncles, our children, our neighbors, our co-workers. We help everybody out. We help strangers. We pitch in, we step up, we step out, we do everything that we can for everyone else. But now it's time for you to take care of you. And if you don't have the time to take care of yourself, then somebody's going to be lacking. And why should it be you? And I say that because if you have a family and you are out of commission, excuse me, then who's going to take care of the home? Who's going to take care of everybody else if you are out of commission? You can't love anyone else. I'm sorry, you can't love anyone unless you have self-love first. Hello, high five D. I need to cut this thing off. But anyway, high five D. Oh my gosh. You have to love, you got to start at home first. And at home is your physical body and your mind first. Okay. They say you in order on the airplane, right? If you've been on an airplane, you have heard them say, put the oxygen mask on you first. So if you put in the oxygen mask on everybody else, you making sure that they're living, you making sure that they're taken care of, and you over I can't breathe. You're not gonna make it. Now it's amazing you say somebody else like, but you over here struggling. So what is self-love? Self-love, according to the definition, is a regard for one's own well-being and happiness. It's your own well-being, your own happiness. And a lot of times we define our happiness based on our exterior, the things that are going on around us, the people who are around us, the things that have been said to us, the situations that we're in, the places where we live, our environments at work. That does not define who we are. No, you got to start from within. And so when we think about having a regard for our own well-being. That's even taking care of our minds, taking care of our skin, taking care of our heart, our organs, eating right. And I know I can attest that I have fallen back on that many times. Our own happiness is not defined by other people and what they do and say to us. It's how we define it for ourselves. Our happiness comes from within. And if you believe in God like I do, there's no joy like the joy of the Lord. He gives me strength. He gives me joy. He gives me peace that surpasses all understanding. And when we tap into God and when we tap into who we are, who we were created to be, man, there's some joy that comes from within that is unexplainable. So that's what I want to talk about today. I want us to tap in to the greatness that's on the inside of us, because that is where we are going to get our joy from, our happiness from. So when we talk about self-love, okay, if you've read, I'm not sure if you've been to my website, laluspeaks.com, and I'll type that into the box. Let me do that. laluspeaks.com. If you've been to laluspeaks.com and you have checked out my blog, you will see there is one titled Self-Love, How to Nourish and Cherish You. Okay? How to how to nourish and cherish you. Okay, when we love on ourselves, mm, 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 then there's so much more that we can get out of life, right? So there is a challenge on my website that I call the Self-Love Makeover Challenge. And so I'm asking you to take on this challenge so that you can spend some quality time with you as you not only love yourself, but spend some time with yourself. Because, I have met women who say, yeah, I love myself, but they're not spending time with themselves. They're running, 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 running. And I can tell you, I understand it. I get it. I'm working. I have a child. I'm taking care of everything for everyone, right? We just talked about that. But then we are not taking time. When was the last time you sat down and took a sit down bath? I can tell you it's been a minute for me. Those things are relaxing. When was the last time you went to get a massage or someone that you know that will do one for you? Have you asked for one? Those things will relax you. I mean, I just did yoga with my two sisters, Shannon and Anna and Diane, and it was and Chu. I think that was the other lady that was there. We had a great time, but when I got up from off the ground, my daughter was there and she did yoga. That might have been her first time. It was so relaxing. And I was able to breathe clearly. It felt so good. And so when I think about when I did it, I was like, gosh, I need to start doing yoga again because I felt so relaxed. That's when the way that you take care of your body shows you and the world just how much you love yourself. So we have to do that. We've taken time to exercise. That all is a part of loving yourself. So when you take the self-love challenge, if you haven't done it, please go by my website, laluspeaks.com, and take the challenge. Okay, I challenge you to fall in love with yourself so much more. My book, Love After Cancer, A Journey Through Hope, Empowerment, Affirmation, and Transformation, is coming soon, sooner than later. We are at the end of the process of the publishing process, and I'm so excited and thrilled. I've been waiting a long time for this. And I know some of you have been very supportive and understanding with all of the things that I've been going through that have kind of put the project on a slowed it down. I'll say that it slowed it down, but we are moving forward, and it will be in print soon. So I'll be so excited to sign all of the pre-ordered copies. Dee, I know that you have one. I'm excited to sign them and ship them out to you. They will be. You can also purchase a pre-order on my website at laluspeaks.com. Just click on shop and you would see all of my products that I have for sale and my book. Now, let me tell you, I wrote that book I didn't start off writing to write a book, if that makes sense. I started off writing because I was challenged to start sharing my experiences, my emotions, and everything that I was going through after cancer in a journal that was given to me as a gift for my birthday. Thank you. And Dee celebrated with me on Facebook. She celebrated with me as I'm 9 years out. This is my cancerversary month. July is my cancerversary month. And I started off just expressing myself through writing. And when my Till Diva sister, Shannon Ralph, she would challenge me to speak and to share. Like, we would go to speak as survivors and with our organizations with Till Diva and Serenity, Courage, and Wisdom, or she would drag me along with her to go speaking, and it pushed me outside of my comfort zone. And I would share some of my writing at some of her events. And she has a retreat for survivors that she gave me the opportunity to do my workshop. And I shared with her my ideas, and she was like, come on, let's do it. And I was like, really? Are you serious? Oh my gosh. Thank you. And because of her pushing me all the time, and she's still doing it to this day, and I'm so excited to be able to go along with her to her retreat this fall and share with these survivors. It has really expanded my vision for myself. And so, as I was doing the journaling workshops, I would write. I would write poems and stories or whatever. And people were like, wow, Keisha, that sounds really good. You should write a book. Your story is so amazing. You should write a book. Oh my gosh, Keisha, when are you going to write a book? And I'm like, really? Oh, are you serious? So I was hoping to have this project done in, what was it, November, December of 2017. Mm-hmm. But that didn't happen, as you can see. And so I started putting everything together, and I started thinking about how I wanted to do it. And with me doing journal workshops, the book is also a journal. So whenever these retreats that I go on, they're all expense paid retreats for the survivors. They have to get themselves there. So they have to provide their own transportation. And once they get there, it's like, oh my gosh, it's paradise. Amazing. So I really love Shannon's retreats. And one of my other Till sisters, Sharon Grammer, does a Christian survivor retreat in the fall as well. And it feels so good to be around other survivors. I learn a lot of things. Everyone gets to share their own personal stories, but just having that moment to do my journal workshop with them, it has blown my mind. Just hearing people not only share their stories, but to do it in a creative way. We at my sister, I'm calling my sister, y'all. At Shannon's retreat, we, on the last day, everybody performs the piece that they wrote because they have a few days to write. And let me tell you, I'm going somewhere with this. That has really pushed me even more to do this because I've seen shy people come out of their shell. I've seen some creative work. I mean, people performing songs and dance, and it just it's in a safe environment where people can be vulnerable and no, we don't go around telling everybody's business or whatever. It's a safe environment where we can come together and work together, understand one another, and just be compassionate. And so with those workshops, I always write my own piece to perform. And so I started putting those together. I share my story. And it started by me performing, and not just for Shannon's organization Till Diva, but even other places. I stepped out of my comfort zone, and I've been guest speakers for different churches and other nonprofit organizations, and those things helped me to recognize that I'm walking in my purpose. It helped to build my confidence. It helped me to learn to love the gifts and talents that are inside of me. And so when you embrace who you are, when you embrace the gifts that God has given you, when you embrace all of the great things, we could sit here and write a book just about the things that we don't do well. We can call those things out. You know what? I don't like my hair. I don't like my toes. I don't like my butt. You could write a book about everything that you're not or that you don't like. But what about paying attention to those things that you can do? What about the woman of God that you are? What about the creative being that you were designed by God to make a product, or to be a speaker, or to write a book, or to travel the world and share with people about how you have overcome something, whatever it is. It might not be cancer, it might be lupus, it might be a drug addiction, whatever it is. God has created you to make a difference in this world. So as you learn to love yourself even more, because you might be saying, I love who I am, I love myself. Well, now I want you to dig deeper and recognize that you loving yourself goes beyond and extends beyond who you are. Someone needs you. Someone needs you to embrace all of your gifts, all of your talents, so that their lives can be changed and impacted. Okay, someone's waiting to make a step in their life, but they're afraid. And so when they see you're walking in your divine destiny, when they see you stepping up on that stage and they know your story, they know what you've been through, they know how hard it was for you to get to where you are. When they see you do that, you're giving someone hope. You're allowing them to feel the heat, hope, empowerment. You are empowering them to do something different. You are helping them to change the thoughts in their own brain, their own stinking thinking, so they can affirm themselves, right? So that they can go out and transform their own lives. But it starts with you. It starts with you stepping up to the plate and saying, I am ready to get in the game, no matter how hard it is, no matter what it feels like, no matter how scary it is, no matter what people are saying to me, no matter whether or not I believe in myself or not right now. When I take that step, doors are going to open, lives are going to be changed. People are going to show up and say, hey, I support you. They're going to cheer you on. They're going to give you the money that you need. They're going to help you and push you along. Just like I said about my sister Shannon, my sister Sharon and Karen, and there's so many other people around you that you don't even know that are there, who's waiting for you. But it starts with loving yourself, having a regard for your own well-being and your own happiness. Now, let me ask you, have you ever walked into a room and someone asked you, hey, Keisha, what's wrong? What's wrong with you? That means somebody's watching. Somebody is watching you right now. Someone is taking a look at what you do, how you handle circumstances, how you handle situations that you're faced with. They're taking note on how much you love yourself. And without saying it, we don't go around and saying, we don't go around saying to people, oh, you don't love yourself. No, but we look at how you treat other people, how you talking about someone, cussing them out, or abusing them mentally, physically, emotionally. How we treat other people tells us a lot about how we feel about ourselves. So today, I want you to do an evaluation, a self-evaluation, and I want you to think about what you can do differently. What can you add on to the love that you have for yourself if you're the one that's saying, I love me. I got all this love for myself. Well, I want you to do an evaluation. If you haven't done so, go to my website at laluspeaks.com and take the self-love makeover challenge. Okay, because over those 30 days, you will write down and affirm who you are. Okay, and the more that you talk about yourself to yourself in a positive way, if you don't believe it, I bet you after 30 days you will start believing in yourself. So I share a story where I did not like my legs. I've always been called skinny. I would always be called Tweety Bird. What else? I could name some names that people said about me, and I could have carried that on forever and been offended, insecure, and intimidated by the words of other people. They say words don't hurt, they do. So all my life I was skinny mini, right? And people always talk about my bird legs. And someone asked me, what is it about you that you like? And everything was definitely above my legs. I didn't like my legs. I was like, And so what I did after having this conversation, it was a very long conversation about me. And I started recognizing, wow, if someone asked me, do you love yourself? I would have said yes. But then the loving for yourself is not just the exterior, it's the interior. It's what you're saying to yourself about yourself. So I looked in the mirror and I quenched whenever I said to myself, I love my legs. I was like, I don't love them. I really don't. And I said it over and over and over again. Every time I looked in the mirror, I was like, girl, look at them legs. I love those legs, even though I didn't believe it. And I said it over and over and over again until I began to believe it. I don't care, my brother, anybody, they could talk about my legs all day long. I love these legs. I'm grateful to have them. Hey, I remember a time when I had cancer and I was sick and I couldn't hardly use these legs. I couldn't hardly walk. I'm grateful for these legs. And they fine and sexy to me. If you don't think so, too bad. You missing out. I love my legs. It took me some time though. And there are some other things that I had to do the same thing. And I don't want you to think that I've arrived, because there are some other things in my life I had to, that I have to still speak over myself so that I can begin to believe in myself in that area. So in spite of my mistakes, in spite of my little skinny legs, In spite of being single, I've been single for a while. People say things that are true and things that are not true about me and why I'm single. Guess what? I'm not defined by what other people think about me. I have to love Keisha before I even want to depend on the love of someone else. Not compromising and being okay with it. That shows you just how much you love yourself. I gained 10 to 20 pounds after going through cancer. I had gotten down to about 115 pounds. And then I was at a steady weight. I gained 5 pounds and I was 120 for a while. Then I got up to 130, 135. And then I kept going. And I was like, whoa, I don't know. I had to put a halt to it because I saw that myself, I was gaining and gaining and gaining. And so, um, in spite of me gaining weight and losing weight, gaining weight, and for some people, they look at me, they don't think that I have gotten to be really big. But for me and my body and my health and what I know that is true for me, I needed to do something different. Even now, I'm even making changes now on things that I'm eating. I've been eating smaller amounts of food because y'all, if you know me, I could eat. I love me some food now. And so I've been eating smaller amounts of food because I had to think about Keisha and my health because I have to show myself that I love myself by how I treat myself. This is so important, not only for my health, my mental health and my physical health, but also for my child. I'm a mother. Someone's watching me. And so when what I do is being recorded consciously and unconsciously. All right. So, in spite of me gaining weight, in spite of what other people think of me, I have to look in the mirror and love Keisha. I have to look in the mirror and be happy about what I see. So, like I said, it's not just an internal thing, an external thing, it's also an internal thing. What people don't see when they look at you, it comes out through your actions. The scripture says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Your mouth is not the only thing that's talking. Your actions, what you do and what you don't do, also says a lot about you. So you might say, I love myself. But what are those words that you say when you are just generally talking about yourself? If someone gives you a compliment, what do you say? Oh, girl, now, child, I need to work on this. Girl, blah, blah. What are you saying to people about yourself? Because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth is going to speak. I want you to pay attention to what you're saying to yourself about yourself and what you're saying to yourself, what are you saying to others about yourself. So I'm going to read to you something that I wrote in my book, and it's describing what I was feeling about myself when I lost all of that weight and when I had cancer and when I looked at the world and I didn't feel good about myself. I'm going to tell you right now, I was not happy with my situation. I wasn't happy. I blamed myself. I was angry. I wasn't angry with God, but I was angry with myself. And I felt like I was, hey, Kobe. Hey, girlfriend. Thanks for joining me. Y'all tell me where y'all located. D, I forgot to tell you. D and Kobe, where you located? Post it below, please. So this is something that I wrote. And, if you've purchased the book and if you haven't purchased the book, please go to do so now. You can pre-order and get it signed by me. on my website at laluspeaks.com. So, I'm getting a little emotional. A little emotional. All right, we have Miami, Florida in the house. Thank you, Miami. That's my hometown. Yes. Thanks for joining me, Dean. All right, so whew, I think back on when I wrote this. It's called What Do You See? The emotions that I was experiencing at the time. Girl. I might not have been abused physically by a person, but cancer, I feel like I was abused. Yay, yay, yay. Nassau, Bahamas in the house. Thanks, Kobe. Thanks for joining me. I can't wait to go back to the Bahamas, y'all. Oh, I love it there. All right. So when I wrote this, I remember there was a tear on the page when I wrote it. I remember crying as I wrote this. I remember emotionally being so broke down. I was like on the threshing floor, and I felt like somebody was stomping on me, stomping on my heart, stomping on me, until I felt like I couldn't make it. Like I didn't know that I was gonna make it. I actually, because of the pain that I was in, I was ready to give up. And I know if you've ever been there, give me a raise your hand, say yes, ma'am, amen, whatever. I've been there. I get it. So it's called What Do You See? When you look in the mirror, what do you see? I see death looking back at me. I see skin turning pale. I see weight falling off. I see hope looking back at me. When I look in the mirror, I see eyes staring at me. I see needles sticking me. I see blankets wrapped around me. I see doctors, nurses, technicians. What do you see? When I look in the mirror, I see bones with skin popping out like they're in 3D. I see fear trying to paralyze me. I see dreams past deferred. I see black and red marks to identify me. What do you see? In the mirror, there are many. That's whom I see. Many who have had cancer. What do you see? I see a survivor, a strong survivor, a survivor. That's me. So when I wrote this, my skin was turning pale. It was, my weight was falling off. I was so skinny. And if I had to go through that any longer, I can't imagine what I looked like. But at the same time, there was some level of hope. It was like, um, that scripture, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. And, I read that every day because there were days that I had very little faith. When I say I see eyes staring at me, where people, when I was going through the hospital and being pushed in a wheelchair, seeing people look at me, I didn't feel good about that. I didn't want people looking at me like that. I didn't want people pitying me. I didn't like people saying, "Oh, Keisha, I'm so sorry." I didn't want that. Don't treat me like that. I want to hear positive words. I want you to encourage me. I want you to say something that would make me jump out of myself in spite of the pain that I was in. I saw needles sticking me. I was getting chemotherapy, and sometimes they couldn't find my veins and they wanted to put a port in me. And I was like, no, I'm not getting a port. You have to find my veins. And as a matter of fact, you can't see them probably, but I have a mole on this arm. I went to get a scan today. Let me take this off. But I don't know if you can see it, but I have a mole on both of my arms. It's a little dot where I had chemotherapy. And so I was always getting stuck with needles. I was like, Jesus, an IV. And I was okay with that because I didn't want the port. I didn't want them sticking something in me and that could potentially get infected. And I was considering how long I was going to have it. I wasn't going to be in treatment for a year. And I would have had to keep it in me for a year before at that time, I don't know if it's changed, but I would have had to keep that in me. And I was like, I don't want it. So, blankets wrapped around me. I kept my prayer shawl on me. And if I didn't have that, I had the hospital blankets wrapped around me. um, Doctors and nurses and technicians always going to the doctor's office, always being with a nurse or a technician, somebody at my bedside. And it was constant every day, Monday through Thursday, I believe. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday I had off. And then I was back at it again on Monday. I felt like my bones were popping out like 3D because when I looked in the mirror, it was like hardly no skin. It seemed like it was more bones than skin, if that makes sense. And fear was trying to paralyze me because I was so frightened that I wasn't going to make it. I was frightened that I wasn't going to be here for my daughter. I was frightened that I wasn't going to see my family again. So when I say dreams past deferred, I feel like everything stopped for me. And that's what motivated me to start Serenity, Courage, and Wisdom, because I literally, after treatment, I was like, God, there's something more. There's something better out here for me. I don't know what it is, but I need you to help me. I need you to show me what it is. And that's when God started speaking to me and about my purpose. And I joined Trace Lynn Fashion Jewelry. And I'm grateful for it because that business helped to transform me into who I am today. But dreams, I felt like they were past deferred. The black and red marks that I say to identify me, those were the marks that told the doctor, my radiation oncologist, where to, the technicians, where to align me for radiation. And so I had that on my body until treatment was over. Red and black marks to identify me. But when I look in the mirror, I thought about all of those people that have gone through that had, let me get my words together. I thought about the people that had the same experience as I was having, that I knew that I wasn't alone. There were other people who were going through the same thing that I was going through. There were other cancer survivors. There were people who could relate. And I had to come to grips that I'm a survivor. And I'm not just a survivor, I'm a strong survivor. And all of this contributed to me learning to love myself more and more. So I said all of that. I've shared this writing that's in my book, Love After Cancer, A Journey Through Hope, Empowerment, Affirmation, and Transformation, because I'm hoping that you will feel this heat, this la luz, the light that's in me, and know that you can make it. You can get through. I'm a single mother. Sometimes, yes, I don't know how I'm going to make it from day to day. And then there are other times where I feel like, God, you're amazing, for the opportunities and the gifts and talents that's in me. But I want you to understand, I want you to know that there's something amazing inside of you. I want you to know that the same love that you pour out to everyone else, the love that you have for your children, you're you need it too. Don't neglect yourself. Give it back to yourself first. Take some time, if you have a journal, and write down all of the things that you are grateful for. Write down the things that you love about yourself. And if it's something that you don't, write that down. And I want you to really meditate on those things and turn it around like I did. I wrote down all of the things that I didn't like about myself, and I started speaking the opposite and speaking positivity into my life. So I hope that this will be a blessing to you. I hope that you will take this and run with it, that you can get hopeful about your future and know that the person you are today does not have to be the person of tomorrow, that you can transform your life right now, right this moment. And it's going to start with falling in love with you. All right, I love you all. If you don't have any questions or any comments, if you do, go ahead and drop it in the box. If you're joining me for the first time today, please state where you are located. And I just thank you and I'm grateful for you joining me today. Excuse me. Lalise Speaks. Come visit my website. Make sure you get your copy of my book before it goes on regular price. It's on sale right now. 10% discount. Get it now before it goes up, which will be soon. Get it now so that you can have my autograph. Get it now so that you will be in my literary tribe and receive something special that I have for everyone that orders their book early. And I just thank you. Okay, no one has any comments. I don't see any comments. Oh, God bless you and thanks for sharing. Love you and chat with you later. Yes, I love you and God bless you too, Dee. Absolutely. I thank you for your support. You're always supporting me. You are an amazing friend, and I thank God to have you in my circle. Thank you so much. All right, y'all. Have a good night. Mwah. Until next time, I'm going to be back. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share this video and subscribe. Make sure you visit my YouTube channel if you haven't done so. I will be back with more with Tea Talk with Lalise Speaks. All right. Make sure you have your tea when you come join me next time. Okay. All right. Love you all for real. Good night.